The story begins on a dark and stormy night, deep within the halls of an old Chinese house. Outside, rain poured relentlessly, forming large puddles in the yard. Inside, a group of men in black robes stood silently in a line, their presence heavy and still. One of them stepped forward and asked into the shadows, "Is anyone there?" Just outside the house, a dirty young boy stood soaked from the rain. He silently observed the robed men. Their stillness felt eerie to him. Among them, a man with red eyes studied the child, puzzled by the fact that someone was living in the long-abandoned martial academy. The red-eyed man spoke gently. He called the boy a young warrior and politely asked if they could take shelter there for the night. The boy, curious and cautious, was surprised by the man's respectful tone. He assumed they saw him as the caretaker of the empty academy and, wanting to be polite, greeted them back. He explained that he had been living there alone for a few years. He welcomed them to stay wherever they liked, but pointed out a small pavilion and asked them not to use it, as that was where he lived. The men thanked him sincerely. Their leader turned to his group and instructed them to avoid the pavilion. "Find shelter elsewhere," he said, and they all nodded in agreement before dispersing. As they left, the boy noticed the word Tang embroidered on their robes. He wondered if they were from the Tang clan. He was curious about their origins but had other things to tend to. He returned to his pavilion. Inside, the atmosphere shifted. The serious mood faded as the boy's face lit up with joy. It was dinner time, for his pets. He called out cheerfully, lifting the lid off a large pot. Inside was a small, brown, cricket-like insect. Almost late, he said to himself, "These guys must be starving." He uncovered another container to reveal a large tarantula, the black earth tiger, a species native to Hainan, China. It was enormous, nearly 20 centimeters long, with distinctive black stripes like a tiger. Using a chopstick, he picked up an insect and fed it to the spider. He whispered to it warmly, "Black, I don't know what I'd do without you." The spider eagerly devoured its meal, and the boy grinned. Black had grown significantly, having already shed its shell twice. It was hard to believe the creature had once been the size of a fingernail. He opened another drawer and took out a small, orange lizard with white stripes, a bewangling cave gecko, another native species. As he fed it, the lizard bit his finger. He yelped and shook his hand, trying to shake it off, but it clung on tightly. The pain sparked a memory. Before ending up in this world, he had been someone else entirely, a streamer. Known online as Spicy Fabre, he was a professional biologist with over 1 million subscribers. His channel focused on venomous insects and animals. The trouble had begun during a special live stream to celebrate reaching 1 million followers. The theme was the 10 most dangerous vipers in the world. Among them was the infamous black mamba, the deadliest and most aggressive of them all. He had traveled to Africa to find it. During the stream, he told his viewers that he hadn't located the mamba yet. "It's harder than expected," he admitted. His audience, loyal and concerned, assured him they would wait. He returned home exhausted. In the chat, someone joked that the mamba might already be in his house. It wasn't a joke. The snake had found its way in and was curled on top of his refrigerator. During the live stream, he was bitten. In an instant, he was dead. Now, in this new world, the boy frowned as he thought back on everything, how it all ended so suddenly, just as things were taking off. A knock interrupted his thoughts. An old man in black robes stood outside his pavilion door. He respectfully called for the young warrior. The boy opened the door. "Is something wrong?" he asked. The elder thanked him again for offering shelter and extended an invitation to join them for dinner. They had caught a deer. The boy's eyes lit up. He hadn't tasted proper meat in ages, only snakes and lizards. He gladly accepted and joined them by a bonfire where the deer roasted slowly. The group sat around, watching it cook. The elder noticed the boy drooling and chuckled. "It'll take time," he said gently. But while we wait, may I ask you something? The boy, slightly embarrassed, nodded. How old are you? Do you live here alone? The elder asked. The boy wasn't sure if he was 14 or 15. So, he made something up. I hit my head when I was small. I don't remember much, he said. He admitted to living alone, claiming he had no talent, just catching snakes and selling their skins to survive. The elder was surprised. That's dangerous work for a boy. I'm used to it, the boy replied casually. A plate of steaming meat arrived, and the elder handed it to him. You must be starving. The boy's eyes widened with joy. As he took a bite, he thought to himself, this is happiness. The elders watched with smiles. While you eat, the patriarch began, may I ask if you've seen anything unusual in these parts? The boy paused. The question was vague. The white-haired elder beside the patriarch spoke up. Since we owe this young warrior, why not tell him more? He lives alone. He won't tell anyone. The patriarch agreed. We're looking for a special centipede, he said. One with a blue spot. The boy blinked in surprise. Blue spot centipede? Yes, the elder said. If it's fully grown, it could swallow someone your size whole. The boy paled. Until now, he thought he had just traveled a few hundred years back in time. But this? This was something else. Maybe this wasn't just the past. Maybe it was another world entirely. Sensing his unease, the white-haired elder tried to reassure him. Don't worry. We're close to catching it. The boy hesitated. Are you planning to raise it? The men looked confused. The elder burst into laughter. Raise it? That's a funny thought. The patriarch added, smiling, you are an amusing boy. The white-haired man explained they needed the centipede for medicinal purposes. The boy raised an eyebrow. It's for my granddaughter, the elder said. She's very ill. The inner core of the centipede is the only thing that can save her. The boy's expression softened. He understood. As strange as it all sounded, he knew what desperation looked like. He sympathized, not only with the girl, but also with the creature they sought. Grateful for their kindness and the meat, he decided to help. I haven't seen one myself, he said, but I might know where to look. He wasn't just any ordinary boy. Though he had died from a snake bite, Spicy Fabry had been a walking encyclopedia on venomous creatures. Out of the estimated 8.7 million species on Earth, around 20,000 were venomous, and he had studied them all. Centipedes were no exception. With his knowledge and instincts, he might be the only person in this world capable of finding the creature they were searching for. The boy recalled his extensive knowledge of centipedes, flipping through it in his mind like pages in a well-worn book. He mentally scanned through the details until he found what he was looking for. Back in the present, he turned to the elders and said calmly, I might know where to find the creature. The men were visibly surprised. Their eyes lit up with eagerness as they pressed him for more information. He asked them which areas they had already searched. They explained they had focused on the north and east of the academy, mainly during the day, especially around the riverside to the north. The boy wasn't surprised. Of course you couldn't find it, he said. The elder leaned forward, curious. What do you mean by, of course? The boy explained. Centipedes, as members of the phylum Arthropoda and class Chilopoda, have a wide range. But being cold-blooded, they rely heavily on their environment to regulate body temperature and moisture. Unlike most insects, they don't have a strong waterproofing layer on their exoskeleton. Their bodies contain small pores, which makes them vulnerable to excessive moisture. So while they require high humidity, they actually dislike overly wet environments. They can't survive long without water, but you won't find them in jungles or near rivers. The elders listened closely, surprised by the information. They had assumed centipedes would prefer rotten wood and damp cracks. Small ones do, the boy clarified, but you're looking for a giant. Large centipedes can't stay in the jungle or among river rocks, there are too few hiding places. The men exchanged thoughtful glances and nodded. So where should we look? The elder asked. If we succeed, you'll be richly rewarded. The boy smiled. Then he pointed west. There, he said. Try the Rocky Mountains. Centipedes love to rest under sun-warmed rocks during the day. They're nocturnal, so they come out at night. A few hours later, the Tang clan's men had gathered in the western mountains, searching thoroughly. The patriarch stood atop a tall, narrow boulder, scanning the area. One of the younger men approached and quietly suggested that the boy might have been mistaken. The patriarch considered this. It was late. He raised his hand and gave the order to end the search. A signal arrow was fired into the sky, calling the team back. As the men gathered around the bonfire, their faces were weary, but their eyes still held a flicker of hope. Though they hadn't found the centipede, they trusted in the young warrior's intelligence. The patriarch remained quiet. Eventually, his voice broke the silence. His expression was heavy. My daughter, Hua Yen, he said, she is the most exceptional talent our clan has ever seen. But now, it feels as if the heavens have turned away from her. Suddenly, someone approached and bowed. Grand Patriarch has returned. The patriarch stood and welcomed the old man back. They gathered by the fire once more. I take it you had no luck either, the patriarch asked. The Grand Patriarch nodded solemnly. No. Nothing. And Hua Yen, at most, she has 3 months. The weight of his words crushed the air around them. 10 days wasn't enough. They needed a miracle. Then tomorrow, the patriarch said, we head south. We haven't searched there. The Grand Patriarch stroked his beard and replied, indeed. But notice, we've found no traces anywhere. That statement made the patriarch pause. His eyes widened. Then, suddenly, he let out a deep laugh, his voice echoing through the mountains. I can't believe I missed it, he said. We've been standing in the right place all along. The Grand Patriarch raised an eyebrow. You noticed something? No, the patriarch replied, but neither have I not noticed something. The Grand Patriarch understood immediately. There have been no tracks, no droppings, no territorial marks, he said. Not a single sign of wildlife. That's right, the patriarch agreed. And that's what confirms it, the Grand Patriarch said. Something has already claimed this mountain as its territory. The other animals have either fled, or been eaten. He placed a reassuring hand on the patriarch's shoulder. The blue spot centipede is here. Hope returned to the patriarch's eyes. His face wore the sorrow of a father, but now, also the determination of one who might yet save his child. Then the ground trembled. The fire crackled as the tremors grew stronger. A wave of panic rippled through the men as cracks opened in the rocky ground around them. The very earth beneath the bonfire split and began to rise. Shouts erupted. What's happening? A limb pierced through the surface. Then another. Then more. The men pointed and backed away in horror. Even the Grand Patriarch, calm and composed until now, felt a chill of fear. It was the blue spot centipede. And it was massive. Back at the academy, the boy heard the distant rumbles and explosions echoing through the hills. He sat cross-legged in his pavilion, grumbling. What's all that noise? He muttered. Just how big is that thing? He sighed. All I did was suggest where to look, and now they're tearing the mountain apart. Still, his eyes sparkled with fascination. A centipede large enough to swallow a human whole. That was something worth seeing. Being a fan of venomous creatures, especially poison-packed ones like this, he couldn't help but grin at the thought.